Episode 12. Can I say hot? Hot like sizzling hot? That stage dance was super sexy hot. Okay? We got Carla. She drops the charges on Madam for attempted murder. Babyface shacks up with Miss Tandy. Big D and El Fuego trying to stay loyal to Madam. Amp trying to make his moves on Dime. And the funeral from hell. We got a lot to talk about on this episode tonight. It's Alva Alon again with the Hook Podcast TV, bringing you those reviews and juicy commentary on my favorite shows and movies. I give you my thoughts and predictions, and I always love to hear your take on the episodes and movies as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. We left off last week with Madam getting arrested for attempted murder of her sis, Carla, right? Carla dropped the charges, y'all. DA Roz is so pissed off. Yes, she is. So now Madam has left the precinct. And of course, she gets her main people, they're out there waiting for her outside. They can't believe that she got out so quick. I kind of thought that Carla was going to drop those charges anyway, because she already know that Madam don't play. Because of Madam, if she ended up behind those bars, like we know Madam, you best believe that Carla would not be able to rest. Because Madam would have still made sure that Carla would receive hell from the cell, even though that is her sister. You know what I mean? So honestly, I was actually surprised that Madam was shocked that Carla would drop the charges. But, it's a reason why Carla did it right, so that she ain't dumb. She ain't dumb. And Midnight, he is always loyal to Madam. Like we've seen that time and time out through all the seasons and episodes here. And after he found out that what Big D did, he was like, Madam, how do you want me to handle this? And he went ahead and wanted, to take care of that for her. But, as we predicted, Madam is going to let Big D live. Now, when it comes to Babyface, what are we going to do with this guy here? When is he ever going to get a grip over the fact of what happened to Miss Patty and go back to his apartment? He know he can't afford it, but if not, then go get another apartment, Babyface. I'm like, this guy continuously hopping on somebody else's couch. Now he can't even go to Doc's or Midnight's house because they got some pretty young things coming by and they ain't trying to have him block their situation. You're right. You know what I'm saying? So Babyface, he need to really get his own crib again. Like seriously, I don't know what he doing, but this guy seriously has been from each episode, each season. He's literally just like left his crib and don't want to go back. It's just crazy. I get it because it was tragic that what happened to Miss Patty, but come on, Babyface, really? Babyface, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So he don't have nowhere to go, and so he decides he's gonna go to Tandy's house. He goes into to her house, and I guess he felt like he didn't have anywhere else to go, so he could have, I feel like he could have went to a hotel for the night. I'm just saying, seriously, but his ego wouldn't allow him to, because he already felt like some kind of way, on the last episode when, Miss Tandy was trying to make him jealous when she slept with Big D at the club. So he probably felt like, he got to see what's up with her. He got like, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? And despite the fact that Miss Tandy's husband is in the hospital fighting for his life, of course, she lets Babyface in the house, because she can't resist Babyface for some reason. She just really can't resist him. Now, Big D and Fuego. Now, do I need to say any more about these two? just trying to be heroes. They always trying to be heroes and always get caught up. So we know on the last episode that El Fuego was able to tap into the cameras, and he was able to see what was going on at the club with Big D when he was shot. So now he is coming to be Captain Saber Dancer. I know I just made that up. But El Fuego is definitely getting in the way of the plans that Madam have for Big D, which we don't know what's going to happen. It's bananas. Now, Big D is trying to figure out how the hell did El Fuego know that he was down there in the first place. Right? Now, this is just a thought that came to mind when Big D saying, I've been through worse, way worse. You remember he said that? So, of course, we know that he is not from Atlanta, right? But also we know that he is an informant, you know, for Casanova. However, we don't have a lot of backstory on him as we would like. He did mention that he was doing a favor for Casanova because Casanova did a favor for him on something that he got involved with before he came to Atlanta. So I guess that kind of is a segue into a little bit more of his backstory with that. I guess we're going to learn more about later on. That's why I feel like it's going to be more to it that's tied to Big D than we know. You know what I'm saying? So I know for me at first in the last season that he was actually planted there by Concierge. I was thinking that Concierge had brought him on board here, you know what I'm saying, to kind of like be in the inside for him, looking in. But now I'm thinking that's, of course, that's not what happened, that Casanova actually brought him on as an informant. But I still feel like it's more to it because now we know Casanova is just part of this whole equation. And I'm just eager to see now how the writers are going to use Big D in this season and, just figure out what they're going to do with him. What do you guys think about that? And make sure you leave a comment on what you think about that part, guys, about Big D. What do you think about that? Now, poor Tommy. This guy, he has to figure out how he's going to fix all the mess ups that he's been causing Madam. He tried to smooth her with some eggs Benedict, which seems like it's her favorite, right? But she ain't trying to feel that. You know what I'm saying? She ain't feeling that right now. But I like Tommy. I really like this character because he is like a big teddy bear, and at the same time, he can be muscle, but you can't help but to like Tommy. And you can even see how Madam, she has like a soft heart for him, even though sometimes she tries to toughen him up. But it's almost like he doesn't really want to be the bad guy. Like, he's happy just being there taking care of Madam. And if that is all he could do all day, I really believe that's all he would like to do. Seriously, it's just crazy. But back to Big D and El Fuego. So now, since El Fuego has rescued Big D, he let him stay on his couch at his apartment. And Blue has already notified Madam that Big D is not at the club. So now Big D got to figure out his next angle. How is he going to figure out all of this? And because he doesn't even want to leave Atlanta, so he wants to actually stay in the city. So what is he going to do to try to get back into Madam's good graces? I'm wondering that. What you guys think? That's just crazy, right? But anyway, this funeral, y'all, Madam got to play this cool. So everybody needs to make sure that in this position that they need to be ready for whatever that's going to happen. And because, of course, we know that Concierge has eyes on everything. So Madam's first priority is watching her back because anything could go down at this funeral. Okay, so let's talk about Amp and Dime real quick. like I said, Amp has finally come to his senses, and I think that he is really realizing how much he really loves Dime. He's practically in love with her, and Dime, she's in love with Amp too. You know, you could just see it. Let's just keep it real. Now, moving on to Madam and Carla. These two, we know that they are sisters, and deep down, they know they love each other, even though it's like a crazy type of love. And now I kind of figured that, you know, Carla, she knew about the father being alive. And we find out, of course, that he actually tells her, he visited her in the hospital and told him that he was alive. So that was something that I didn't know how they was going to do that, but I kind of figured that she was going to find out some kind of way. And it looks like Carla is trying to be genuine with Madam to come together. Now, even though Madam ain't trying to hear none of that, she just not. She's just, because even her father tried to get them to, you know, bond again. And I guess Carla thought she could try the same thing, but it's just, Madam not trying to hear none of it. Do you hear me? But I have a funny feeling that based on where this season looks like it's going, it looks like she's going to need Carla. Because even though Madam has her ears to the street, Carla also has people in the street that can let her know what's going on. And honestly, I really think that even though their father seems to look like he favors Madam more, he's still going to look out for his Carla. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like their father is also still going to be running things from wherever he decides to go to, for real. Because this man knows everything. Woo. Now, can I say what funeral? What funeral, man? Wow, this scene was so good. Of course, we knew something was going to happen, right? But I love how soon as Madam stands up and the first shot was hit, we see like an army of soldiers in position and just take off. When I say that action is in this scene was so freaking intense and sizzling. And then we see how they all ended up with a weapon to try to take out whoever the enemy was. We never got a chance to see who it was. We just knew we heard an airplane coming over the funeral, and then we just saw gunshots shooting at the people at the funeral. And so I'm just like, okay, of course we feel like it's concierge, right? But I guess we gotta see, because we didn't never see who it was. But anyway, Madam was handling that weapon like a pro. This was like a super hot scene, and it had great camera footage, and transitions was definitely on point. I just love that scene. It was so hot. It kind of like, it just made me just like jump out of my seat, like, oh my God, like, did he really do that? I had to pause the button to be like, what? Did they just do that? And but it was just so good. The quality of the graphics and the photos and everything that was done, it was amazing. I just really liked it. That scene was really, really awesome. Moving on back to the precinct. Now, the quick conversation that Casanova had with DA Rhodes. Now, where she actually tells him that Miss Tandy stated that Madam was the one that orchestrated the beat down on her husband. However, we know that it is not true, right? But then you hear Casanova and he say, that doesn't make sense. So when he says that, my first thought was the reason why he says that is because he knows that he probably was canvassing the area on the detective work that he do, where he is getting footage on Madam because he's watching her, right? And so he knows that when that actually supposed to have taken place, where Tandy's husband was assaulted by Rayshawn, Madam was nowhere to be found, because last episode he had an all, basically all the dirt on the video, showing how Madam actually leave these situations. And so I'm wondering, is that why he said that? Because either that, or he feels that it don't make sense for her to attack Tandy's husband, wondering what Madam gained from that. He's like, what she's gonna gain for that? It's just my thoughts. I'm just like, even though we kind of have an idea of what Madam would gain for something like that, because she did say she was working towards, something about the mayor, if the man became the mayor. However, I don't think it was in her plans for him to be unalive. So therefore, she had nothing to do with it. And we all know that, right? It's just my thoughts. But now, when Casanova receives that call from Big D, I was like, Big D, why are you even trying to get help from Casanova when you know that you're just an informant to him? He's really not going to be looking out for him like that, like he should, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's obviously, known that after the conversation that Big D had with Casanova, he realized that Casanova don't care about him and that he's on his own now. So he needs to know that. Even though Big D is a good guy, he really do seem like a good guy. And he just, like I said, just being caught up in the wrong things, the wrong time, and around the wrong people. And that's just really what it is. Because he really tried to do good, just like El Fuego, So, I'm like, Casanova, probably, when I was looking at that and he was just acting like he don't want to deal with Big D, I was like, Casanova, you really probably gonna need Big D, and you just never know. And I'm thinking that his time is coming to an end in this season soon. And I'm not sure how else they're going to use Casanova. But they may use him a couple more episodes. But I think his time is ending. I really do. Because it's like, there's no way that he's going to keep getting away with all of that. He really just flipped the script on everybody. He did a whole twist. And it was just crazy, because there's no way Madam's going to let, Casanova get away with that. I'm just saying, he's just not. And so now Big D, he just needs to make a pivot and understand where he at right now. And now he has to has no choice but to, get back into the good graces of Madam, especially the fact that he doesn't even want to leave town. He likes it here in Atlanta. So he wants to stay in Atlanta. And so it's like he's going to do that. That's what he's determined to do. He's not trying to go back to where he was. And so he's going to have to face her and try to make it right. That's what he's going to have to do. Now, finally, Trouble has had an opportunity to try to state her case on why she lied on Madam in the first place. And Madam, first of all, is not trying to hear nothing she's saying. But when she does hear her out, she makes it to be known that she really didn't mean that. She tries to make Madam feel and understand that she was, I was just joking around pretty much. I didn't really mean it. I didn't think that Miss Tandy was going to say nothing. I'm like, how do you not think that? You know what I'm saying? How do you not think that? This is crazy, right? That she don't even know who she's dealing with. That was the whole crazy part about all of that, is that Trouble and Champ didn't know who they really were up against, because Miss Tandy got some things up her sleeve too. Don't let her fool you. She got some things, she got some strings she could pull too. So, but they just didn't know. And it's just crazy. Trouble just need to really pay attention to her surroundings and who she dealing with. You know what I'm saying? That girl just Trouble. Trouble really needs to be happy that Madam didn't even do anything worse than that, but take her money. You know what I'm saying? That girl, Trouble just need to, she just really want to be accepted And that girl is just, I don't even know what to say. What else to say, right? Girl, count your blessings. How about that? Count your blessings. Count your blessings, girl. All right. Now, I really feel that the writers are going to create more characters to this show because it will allow us as the audience to learn more about the different characters and explore their backgrounds to help keep the show going. We have the main character, the sub characters, and the supporting characters, and they all have a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to see characters have not have a lot of storylines, a few of these, things that possibly could be happening here, a few things that could possibly, just really happen in this type of situation, the writers will write them off the show, temporary or for good. They may decide to open more story for other characters, to have them go through something to fight for, to take them through their own journey. I love shows that do give certain characters a story that is focused on that particular character, because it allows the writer to explore each character to help them reach their goals. Like they may have old secrets that start being revealed, things like that. It allows the show to extend itself, to have a longevity with it as well. And as a screenwriter myself, I asked myself, what can I add to my characters to allow them to explore more of themselves, to bring more life to them, and to the situation, to their world. And we look at Madam who is definitely the protagonist of the show, but she is also the antagonist to the other characters, because she causes, different issues towards other people in the show, right? And sometimes that is just the case. Sometimes we make our protagonists that also the antagonists, and it makes the audience try to figure out, well, who am I rooting for? So we always are rooting for the main character, but some may feel different. That is the job of the protagonist, is to go for their goals and their purpose, but has to deal with the setbacks. But that's just what makes a great story. The job of the writer is to take us through the emotion. So it's just, I love it. I just love it. Okay, so I know this is not funny, but it was just so crazy how as soon as Big D walked in the door and Tommy just jacked him up and let him go, and he was like, oh man, look. And then he kind of started going into it with with Madam. I was just like, it was just funny. It was like a funny moment when he said it, because he was like, shoot, he just jacked me up, he let me go. All right, I gotta come here and state my case. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I swear everybody that try to cross Madam always end up either in her office or somewhere in a small place trying to state their case on what they did wrong. And at least she is willing to hear Big D out, though, because believe me, she is always thinking of ways to utilize certain people. Just say less, okay? Now, when we look at this now, another has bitten the dust. Okay, we learned that Tandy's husband has passed away in the show, and due to the trauma that Rashawn had did upon him when he beat him up. And so now again, like I said, we just learned that he passed away, and it looks like trouble in Champ is going to have to be taking the fall for Tandy's husband passing. Not looking too good for these two. So I wonder how they're going to play this out. Really, I just can't wait to see how this is really going to play out with these two, because we know Trouble is known for snitching, but let's see if she decides to snitch on Rashawn, who really was the one, like I said, that beat up Tandy's husband. And we are going to find out how loyal Champ is as well. And my thoughts is Champ is not going to go down like that. And I guess we can see on the next episode on how all of this is going to play out. All right, y'all. I covered pretty much of episode 12. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please give it a thumbs up. Your support means a lot to me. If you are a fan of all the Queen's men, like I am, consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And remember, you are the architect of your success. Stay blessed.